Emmy Award winner Tamron Hall made history as the first ever Black woman to anchor NBC's Today Show. It was a dream come true until the network seemingly cast her aside in favor of Megyn Kelly. Here's a look at what Tamron Hall has overcome to get where she is today.
Now, if you Google famous people from Texas, Michael Dorn of Star Trek fame comes up, and me.
Tamron Hall was born in Luling, Texas in 1970. Far from the big city that she would one day call home, Hall told Digital Journal, "It was an incredibly small town, population I think like 1,000 if that. And I grew up very, very poor and living outside. Our entertainment was a water hose and spraying it at each other running around." Hall says her family taught her priceless lessons. In a piece for HuffPost, she wrote of her grandfather, "He taught me to expect nothing, but always be ready to help and share what you have with others. It was the most basic childhood you can imagine. Yet it was all mine and all things were perfect."
It looks small, but for me, it was the center of the universe.
One of Hall's deepest losses was the death of her stepsister, Renata. In 2004, Renata was found dead in the pool of her Houston home, having apparently been beaten. Hall has rarely spoken about the incident in detail, but explained to Renata's son on the show in 2019, "We never discussed it because I didn't know what to say." Hall says Renata frequently found herself in abusive relationships and that there was only one person of interest in her case. Hall told People, "Do we know who did this to her as defined by a court of law? No, but I can tell you I witnessed an act of violence and there were only 2 other people in that room."
I've not, and I cannot, for legal reasons, name someone who's never been charged.
The case remains unsolved, but Hall has found a way to channel her own pain to inspire impactful change. In 2016, she launched the Tamron Renata Fund with Safe Horizon, an organization that provides services for victims of abuse and violent crime, telling the outlet, "No one deserves what happened to my sister."
For the women and children who are they are desperately in need of our help. So we have to go in with open arms.
In 2014, Hall became the first Black woman to co-anchor Today, all while continuing to anchor MSNBC's News Nation and host Deadline Crime with Tamron Hall on Investigation Discovery. By early 2017, Hall was an undisputed shining star at NBC, with Today's Take ranking as the #1 show in its time slot. At the time, her co-host Al Roker tweeted, "Congrats to our Today's Take 9 a.m. producers for producing the #1 morning show 7 weeks in a row. Tamron Hall and I are very blessed." But by the end of January that year, word began spreading that NBC was giving Megyn Kelly the slot, then occupied by Hall and Roker, resulting in the cancellation of Today's Take. And many people were shocked. A few days later, NBC made the departure official, claiming that Hall hadn't renewed her network contract.
As some of you may have heard by now, our good friend Tamron Hall has decided to leave NBC News.
But 2 years later, Vulture reported that Hall says she was only given one option that would have landed her somewhere else at NBC. Instead, she left the network entirely, adding, "It wasn't that I did not know my value, it's that others did not know my value." Times were tough for Hall after she was fired from the network. After all, it was her dream job. She later told People, "I was in a fog, not knowing that so many of us lose things we think are important, and we have no idea that something better is right there." Eventually, Hall came to terms with her decision. According to Good Housekeeping, she reached a breaking point when she realized, "I'm not Tamron from the Today Show, I'm Tamron."
You can't hold on to sadness and bitterness. You can't.
Taking what some would view as an enormous setback, she instead took the shocking transition as a chance to move forward. She told People, "That loss set me up for, yes, a dream job, but also my baby, my husband, my family. I just couldn't see it coming." In June 2014, Hall stunned viewers when she did something that was previously unheard of in TV, especially for Black women. She wore her natural hair on Today. As the story goes, after traveling to Utah to shoot Running Wild with Bear Grylls, Hall was exhausted. On Twitter, she explained, "I was out with Bear Grylls until midnight living in the wild. Got 4 hours of sleep, simply too tired to blow dry and flat iron my hair." Natural hair blog Curly Nicki offered a little more insight into Hall's decision. Apparently, blog author Nicki Walton had traveled to South Africa with Hall just months prior, explaining Tamron would have to spend hours that she could have spent resting or preparing, manipulating her hair to meet the straight hair standard of beauty. In a tweet, Hall confirmed that Walton was the one who encouraged her to rock her curls. She has since gone back to wearing it straight, but says she chooses to, quote, "embrace both."
And CNN has now confirmed that the artist Prince is dead.
News of music icon Prince's untimely death rocked the world in April 2016, and Hall took her close friend's passing especially hard. At the time, she tweeted, "Like a bird without a song, I've lost one of my best friends today. I know he would have advice right now. Prince, I'm listening as always."
Prince called me every single morning to critique or give feedback on what I would wear.
Having met years prior, Hall described her bond with the industry legend as, quote, "one of the most incredible friendships and relationships of her life," according to MSNBC. She spoke to Prince just 5 days before he died, a day after his plane made an emergency landing when he was found unresponsive. She told the outlet, "We talked for nearly 3 hours, which wasn't uncommon for us to do. I did not hear anything that sounded like the flu or cold, but all of our bodies are different." It would be her last call with him. Months after Prince's death, Hall revealed on Today that she started going to therapy to help with her grief. According to Page 6, on the day Prince's cause of death was leaked as accidental opioid fentanyl overdose, the network respectfully excused Hall from her duties on nightly news. Although Hall had clearly known great professional success, it came at the expense of her love life. By the time she was 46 years old, she had yet to find her perfect match, telling Steve Harvey, "I've been engaged a couple times. I feel it's tougher for the guys because if I break up with them, then they can go on and be forced to watch me on TV every day." But in 2017, Hall used her Today exit to her advantage when she started dating music manager Steven Greener. She revealed to People, "Steven was my first and only boyfriend who did not have to turn on the TV to see me, and I think that's been important." Hall had known Greener for years before they started dating, but losing her 9-to-5 allowed her to see him in a new light. She said, "The fear factor of what's going on with my spot, am I going to keep this job, fell away. And I could really see Steven. He's my deepest, greatest love."
And all of a sudden, he asked me out for pizza. And he said, "I know the best pizza place in New York. I'm from the Bronx." And I said, "No, you don't." And he's like, "Yes, I do. And let's get married." And I'm like, "Okay."
In March 2019, Hall positively shocked fans in an Instagram post, announcing she was pregnant, while also sharing that she and Steven had wed. At 48 years old, Hall gave birth to her long-awaited first child, her son Moses. And for the anchor, the path to motherhood was far from being an easy one. On her show, she described the experience as being filled with, quote, "pain and tears," telling People magazine that she first tried in vitro in her 30s, but it didn't work. She also revealed via parents that even though she was single at the time, this was something that I wanted to have happen in my life, but also knew that I had personal challenges in front of me. She tried IVF again with her husband when she was in her 40s, and she says at that time that the already challenging experience came attached to some fear. She told People, "Nothing seems shiny and optimistic. Just like with my job search during that time, there were so many frustrations. I'm putting in the work, I'm taking care of my mind and my body, and I'm being rejected. I'm thinking, wait a minute, what have I done wrong here? Somehow, like Rocky, I kept getting up."
These are the needles that it took to make Moses.
But Hall's long journey with IVF ultimately made the gift of a successful pregnancy that much sweeter. When announcing the happy news on Instagram in March 2019, she said, "There have been many tears, but today I embrace the smiles." In April 2019, she revealed on Instagram that Moses had officially made his world debut. Back when Hall left Today in 2017, she continued to pass on potential opportunities that didn't serve her. She told People at the time, "After 25 years in the business, I felt some of the offers that were coming in were insulting." After months of no bites, Hall thought she had found the right match when she got a call from Harvey Weinstein. But after news of assault allegations against Weinstein came to light in October of that year, Hall put the brakes on the daytime talk show that was already in the works with a disgraced producer. According to HuffPost, by March 2018, the Weinstein Company filed for bankruptcy. And 5 months later, Hall struck a deal with ABC instead.
We all have a story to tell, so let's talk about it.
Tamron Hall premiered on September 9, 2019. Just prior to her show's debut, Hall told Glamour, "I get emotional thinking about it. It's been a hell of a journey. With this show, whatever the outcome, I will be proud of myself." Fans offered the beloved host a warm welcome back with some very strong ratings. And with the fall 2020 announcement of an upcoming season 3, Tamron Hall is showing no signs of stopping. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.